Hello and welcome to Flick in Reel, your friendly neighborhood fan cast. We are your source for news, reviews, and daily discourse. And I am still working on setting up some notes. But today we have a little bit of a special episode. And by a little bit, I mean a very special episode. We are going to once again reach into the Schmoedown cookie jar, and we today are not going to be pulling out a beast. We had a great show with William Bibiani, but instead the head writer of the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. But before we get into that, I do want to say, please check out our What is a Schmoedown video with William Bibiani. We had a lot of really great interaction on that video, a lot of great information, some recommended matches and stuff. But with that out of the way, that is not why you are here today. So I want to introduce my guest. Please help me in welcoming the one and only head writer of the Movie Trivia Schmoedown, the author of Anarchy, PJ Campbell.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, man, it's going good.
I just finished watching Zack Snyder's Justice League, the motion picture. So, just thought I should throw that out there.
Let's just, it was nice having him on here, but some things are they're always going to be too soon. And if anybody knows Schmoedown and knows the match, they know the controversy there. And I fully blame PJ for what happened. That's not true.
What's up, man? It's good to see you, though. It's never too soon to at least make fun of our faults, right?
Yeah. I mean, I got to admit that I'm bouncing right off of doing a show with Chris Anthony Lopez where we try to compact Talking Falcon, Winter Soldier, and the entirety of the Zack Snyder Justice League, the motion picture, all together, and you can't do it.
No, man,
you can't do it. You can't do it well, I should say. So this was originally scheduled for 11 o'clock, but we pushed it, and then even that, usually I have my notes off to the side, and I just realized none of that's ready. So now I have it up and stuff. So hopefully we don't have too many speed bumps moving forward. I just want to say hi to the chat real quick.
What's up,
hi,
Brandy?
Thank you for joining.
Joey.
And
Joey, congrats, by the way. Looks like they're about to have another child. Joey takes a lot of the pictures over at the Schmoedown. He's the best.
Oh, awesome. That is super fantastic to hear.
Yeah.
All right. So, is it a corgi?
That two of them, yeah. Just
you got
playing in the background, yeah.
Well, playing is quieter than barking. I got an elusive cat that is just meandering about. You'll probably see him strut through the background from time to time. But let's get into the thick of it. The reason I have you onto this show, it was kind of an idea that just kind of popped in my head because we've, for a little bit now, a few weeks, I've had a little bit of interaction just on Facebook and stuff, talking back and forth. There's some great pun interaction on Twitter. Just talking about Schmoedown, talking about movies and stuff. And I had a lot of fun having Bibiani on the show. And it provided us a really great source for a lot of the people in my life and maybe some other people's lives that don't know much about the Schmoedown. And when me and Bibbs talked about it, he's like, I think that's a great idea. So we went with it. I had a couple technical issues, but really it went great. And I was like, what's another perspective that I think is unique in the Schmoedown? I've had a veteran on here to describe what it is. But what about one of the core pillars of the Schmoedown is the questions. You cannot have the Movie Trivia Schmoedown without the movie trivia. So you are the guy behind the questions. So
oh man,
it still
feels weird to think that too, because
I'm on the same boat. You for longer, but
and I've been around it for a little while. I started as a fan like everyone else. Like I've been a fan of the Schmoes since the Toad Hop days. And so there's still something weird about thinking that now I'm so involved to the point that it's like, hey, you're in one of the most important positions of all of this. Don't screw it up.
Yeah, you're kind of like a writer or producer. Whereas, if the general audience, and now we got, there's over 300,000 subscribers watching the Schmoedown Entertainment Network. And when something goes awry, you're a popular name, my guy.
Oh, dude, every time. And that, like, I can't tell you how many times, like, I've had managers who've reached out to me, like, after matches, and they'll be like, none of what happened is on you. Like, we're so sorry that you're the one who always ends up taking the fall, because they see the fans doing it, and it's like, I'm the easy scapegoat, and that's fine. I knew what I was signing up for before I did it. Like, again, I've been around the waters a long time, and, like, in the sphere even longer, because I was podcasting and blogging, like, at the very beginning of the boom. So I've been around this space since like 2010. So, 11 years in the trenches, if you will, of nerdom and geekdom is something.
Absolutely. Which I want to start getting into some of the questions. And guys, feel free, if you have some questions, drop them in the chat. If you want to really support the channel, support PJ, and just really show how excited you are about this video, we have a Streamlabs link in the description, and I'll pop it up right here as well. So you show your support at streamlabs.com/flickandreel. We're just kind of getting into that and exploring it, but anything that you can do helps us expand the channel and do more videos and stuff like this. So we really appreciate it. Hey, we have...
Hey, what's up, Sabrina?
Faction mate Sabrina Ramirez. Hi, Sabrina. Can't wait to finally see you this season in the Schmoedown. I'm very excited for... Get off my chair. There, my cat made an appearance.
Couldn't be upstaged by the corgis. Cat's always got to have the last word.
Absolutely. So we drop that off here and bring up. Oh, gotta get that thing. All the stream, everything about this is new to me. I kind of started exploring all of this once the Schmoedown hit. I was like, oh man, I can maybe do something with my channel and take advantage of this.
Well, I'll say this too, man. Like, it's pretty dope. Like, having Bibiani on, being able to have me on. One of the cool things about this community, I've always felt like, is that everyone who's involved, like, we've become like a family. So everyone's willing to like jump around and be like, hey, you want to come hang out for however long? Let's do something. Like, there's never pushback. And that's kind of a cool thing, man. Like, you don't always see that on the internet. It's always like you'll scratch my back if I scratch yours, but it doesn't feel that way within this. Yeah.
There's so many after shows that I got involved with when I was doing my campaign before the draft. And I'm friends with like everybody now. I was just talking to Jake Berlin from the POV crew this morning, and then I had Chris Anthony Lopez on from Spin from the Reel because my co-host couldn't make it. And I was like, hey man, I got too much conversation for just me. I need a co-host. And I was like 11:30 p.m. last night. And I was like, can I have some help? He said, absolutely, just send me the link. And so we made that happen. All right, but go ahead,
man. Oh, I was going to say, like, similarly, a couple weeks ago, it was before the last pay-per-view, so not last night's, the one 2 weeks before. Frank texted me right before it started. He goes, so you think you can sub in for Brad? Like, last minute, he goes, Christian really wants us to do it. You think you could come in? I can't get Brad. I was like, yeah, absolutely. That's how it is around here, man. Last minute, Hail Mary, throw the football link.
That's right. Well, talk about Hail Marys, the challenge in the match last night.
Oh, my God, dude.
We'll talk about some matches. We'll bring some things up, but for starters, this is really going to be more or less interview format with the one and only author of Anarchy. That's my new title for you, PJ Campbell.
I love it. I love it.
Question number one, which we hinted at, but I want to get a little bit more of it. How did you find your way into the Schmoedown? Where did you start with the Schmoedown?
So I'd been watching since the Schmoes Nose days and been a fan of Christian and Mark for a long time. And there had been a period of time where I had left Los Angeles because of something that had happened with my family, and I had moved back to Sacramento. And then in that like 9 months I was gone, that was right around the time it ended up at Collider. And so the show was getting really popular, and I had moved back to Los Angeles, and like right as I moved back, I was right back into doing movie reviews and stuff, and I met Christian and Roca at the critic screening for Triple X3 of all movies. And so we kind of struck up a friendship and stuff. There was a third one. Yeah, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I was texting Sam Levine yesterday, and I quoted the movie, and he goes, if there's anyone who's going to quote it, it's always you. And I don't know why. And he's like, I just expect you watch bad movies and like them for whatever reason. I was like, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And
how's
so
it feel to have like Sam Levine that's been in like movies that have been like theatrically released, reaching out to you, or you're having a Schmoedown match and he's telling his competitors, man, you would have got that point if PJ wasn't being cute.
I don't know. It's so weird. Like, Sam Levine is on my shelf downstairs because I own Freaks and Geeks. I love Freaks and Geeks, and so I've loved that show for a long time. It's still surreal that I'm like, hey, I actually get to talk with Sam or texting with Winston. Like Winston, who is prominently in things like Nickelodeon shows, Disney shows. What was Superstore? Is that the one that he had a cameo on? Like Winston, man, it's freaking awesome. That's all.
Well, I believe it's Darrell now, actually.
Oh yeah, Darrell. That's right. I'm sorry.
Spelled like Daryl, pronounced Darrell. If any of you guys get that reference, I appreciate you.
Oh, it's so good.
Sorry.
But no, you're good, man. And so in that time, I started doing after shows where AMC Movie Talk actually used to shoot. And Josh Makuga was there because the studio was being used for multiple things. And so he and I would cross paths. And one day we were talking and he was like, hey, you should come by the studio and come see a taping. So I was like, all right, yeah, sure, absolutely. And went to the studio the next week, and Christian took me around the office. There's pictures of me holding the belts and stuff. And I was just having a good time walking around. And after we finished taping, he goes, so you're coming back tomorrow, right? And I went, wait, what's tomorrow? And it was going to be the first free-for-all. And I had no idea that they were taping it. And he was like, you should come by, come and hang out. And so I called in sick to my job the next day to go and hang out and watch the free-for-all and became friends with everyone. And so I've been there ever since. And that was February of 2017. And that was just kind of it, man. Like I fell into it just by random happenstance, meeting these guys along the way. Like I'd always kind of interacted with them on and off in different capacities being in the space, but to finally fall into it was kind of surreal because I'd been watching them for a long time.
I love hearing the different journeys that people have had to the Schmoedown. Like you talk about, happenstance, a little bit of right place, right time.
Yeah.
I was not that. It was like every waking second of I want to be in the Schmoedown.
That's fair, man. Look, even I went back. It was so funny because, when the pandemic started, there was all the different memes and things of going around where it was how it started, how it's going. And I went back to my very early mentions on Twitter where I'd tweeted at Christian and Mark about super old events and super old matches. And it was holy shit, how did that happen? And just looking back, and it's and now I'm the head writer of that show. It's just weird, man.
Looking at your background, considering the fact that you have no stake in movies, I don't know how you got that position.
I don't know, man. I hate movies. I don't know if you know this, but I really don't like movies, clearly. Yeah, you hate movies too, I know. I'm sorry.
Especially when they're 4 hours, right?
Yeah, especially apparently. Because it means he's getting no attention at that time. Yeah,
that's you. All right. So I think, we explained in our video with Bibiani what the divisions are. You got singles, teams, Star Wars, and Inner Geekdom, which I am now officially a part of. That's weird for me to say.
I love it.
I think I know the answer, and we've talked about this before a bit, but I think especially inspired after a recent match, but maybe I'm wrong. What is the hardest, most difficult division to write questions for, and why is that? Everyone new to the Schmoedown.
Look, there's no way I cannot say it's not Star Wars. There's nothing harder than the fact that there's 12 of those movies, and time in and time out, you're trying to make sure that every question is right. Not just that you're also able to compete with the competitors. And if we saw anything from last night, spoilers obviously for anyone who watched it, but 5150 is not a small number of points.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that's record breaking.
Yeah, that's record breaking. And that was, I think, 37 questions altogether. And those dudes pitched a perfect game all the way through.
And you're
Star Wars, man.
You're trying to not repeat questions that have been asked 100 times. Yep. You also you don't want softballs in there. Most things for the Star Wars competitors are softballs, but you're not going to be what actor played Luke? What actor played Han? Those are never questions you're going to see in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So you have to start deep and work your way deeper.
Hey, thank you. Sorry. He's very vocal. No, seriously though. I don't know if you noticed last year during the speed rounds for the belt matches, that was the only time we started doing like a lot of actor things, because it was like, it's a speed run. You need a question that's like easy to ask, quick. They might be able to get it, but at the same time, maybe you throw someone off doing it.
Something that Ellis and Harloff might be able to pronounce.
Yes, something that Ellis and Harloff might be able to pronounce. Which, look, of all the stuff, I'm never going to not laugh at the fact that people get... There's so many things. Christian and Mark have never seen half of the things we're talking about in any of these divisions. Right. And that's not a dig. Like, I'm never going to not... do you remember last year there was a match where we asked a question about the Mummy? I think it was Roka Irwin. And it was the Boris Karloff Mummy film. And Christian read Imhotep as I'm a Hotep. And I was like, pretty sure you've at least seen the Brendan Fraser ones, but look, I mean, it is what it is. It's okay. Like, I have a good laugh about it, man. Like, I just have to write it. The fact that they have to say it out loud, more props to them.
And we got a couple comments from the chat here. The one and only Jake Berlin from Certain POV. BJ is a freaking man. What he and his team have done this year, let alone in last night's Star Wars match, is amazing. I'm in awe of what they do every day. Everyone stop with the BS, team question writers. And absolutely. I think being that I was new to the Schmoedown, I think when something didn't quite go my way in one of the matches, I didn't know how to react. But very quickly I realized that like there's 100 different factors in any given match. And a lot of the times it's really up to the competitors to hold it together, to have the right answer, have the challenge ready. It's not just about what you know about movies. It's about what you know about the Schmoedown.
No, totally. And it's so funny because, like, you know, people... Yeah,
I'm a Hotep.
The funny thing for me is, like, I don't think people realize, and, like, you saw it, I beat myself up over stuff so easily, and it's easy to get rattled, but they don't understand you're also spinning so many different plates. Like, we've taped close to 30 matches already for the season.
Vincent Alvarez? Or is it? No, that's not Vincent. What am I saying? What's his name?
Frankie Alvarez?
Frankie. Where is Vincent? Who's Vincent? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, Frankie... we could make a Vincent Alvarez now for the league. Why not?
I feel like that's from something. But anyways, Frankie Alvarez may be a robot, but we know that you are not.
Correct.
So you cannot say I am robot. You are a human. And so when you're writing hundreds and hundreds of questions for different divisions, you just gotta know whether you have to tell yourself or whether the fans have to come to terms with the fact that nobody's perfect.
No, and human error is going to happen, man. Like
punctuation can get you in a question. Like it's ridiculously, astronomically difficult.
No, right, and that's one of those things, especially because behind the scenes, we'd basically been off since around the end of November from the show. Like, we had filmed everything, all the matches for Spectacular were done, and I was like deep into working on trying to reformat. Obviously, I was doing a ton with IG, just looking to try to best the game as best as possible, but also try to take a little bit of a mental health break. And stuff falls through the cracks, whether you realize it or not. Like, you can't catch everything. I want to catch everything. Don't get me wrong. Like, make no mistake, I want things to be perfect.
Well, and this workload that Harloff has just been like, and here you go.
Right. And look, again, I knew what I was signing up for when I took over for Chris. When he came to me last year, or I guess a year and a half ago now, when he came to me and he's like, Chris is looking to step down. You've been around a long time. I love your work ethic. I love what you bring into the game when you've been helping behind the scenes. Would you be willing to take over as head writer? That was a big responsibility to say yes to. And then the pandemic happened. And so on top of that, I had to step up to really figure out how we were going to make it work within the confines of the pandemic too with them. And that was a totally different curveball I wasn't expecting. But in a way, I'm kind of happy it happened, because the one thing that I get out of all of it, there was a joke a long time ago that I was the one fan who had seen the most matches because I was always in studio. I was always helping. I was always there. But now, because of the pandemic, with us doing this digitally, I can be on every match, which Chris didn't have the luxury of doing. And so when things go wonky or there's a challenge, I can be there to help litigate, and I can be there to like hone in on things, and that's kind of nice, man.
That's really like a make or break element, really, is having the person in charge of the questions, because Christian and Mark do so much for the Schmoedown, with the Schmoedown, that like they can't be every element of it. It's weird seeing the dogs on the back of the screen is throwing me off, because like it makes me feel like they're in my room. Like, I'm seeing this all as one box, because I got Cat right over here. So whenever I see movement and down like this corner of the screen, I'm always looking down.
Nope, yeah, that would be my two, pretending that they're Godzilla and Kong. They're just hype for the movie next month.
We do have our first question from the chat from another Schmoedown competitor, Peggy Gubbins. Question for PJ, just to mix it up and keep him on his toes. Do you have a favorite West Wing character?
Yes, I do. CJ Craig. That's 100% always my favorite. I love Allison Janney.
Yeah, West Wing. Was John Goodman in that one, or is that the other one?
No, John Good. Well, he appeared in it, I think, later. The West Wing, essentially. So, did you ever see The American President by Rob Reiner?
No.
So, okay, Rob Reiner wrote or directed.
Oh, your first correct answer.
Thanks, Peggy. Aaron Sorkin wrote The American President with Michael Douglas and Annette Bening. And it also had Martin Sheen. And in a lot of ways, it ended up being like a test pilot for what The West Wing would become. And so The West Wing, the TV show, funny enough, like written by Sorkin for the first 4 seasons, Martin Sheen is the star of it. He's the president now instead of the vice president. Like almost everything that's kind of done in the movie in 95 is brought together like in 98, 99, 97, whenever it started. So a little bit of movie to television history, but you know. Yeah, and this is why I write.
What we didn't know is that we were going to get the West Wing broken down on this show, but that is a live exclusive for all the fans tuning in right now. So make sure to send some tips to PJ for sharing all his great knowledge with us. All right, so we're going to move on to the third question I have here. What has been some of your favorite questions or moments that you are proud of being a part of?
Dude, there's so many. Number one, hey, you in the corner. Thank you. Sorry, there's.
I'm being called out. I'm being requested to watch American President. Listen, is it on my 300 IG movies? Not currently, so I will get there when I get there.
No, man. We did a watch along for it actually on our channel last month. So if you ever get a chance, I think it's currently streaming. It was on Netflix or HBO Max. I don't remember which, but if you get a chance, it's worth checking out. Michael J. Fox is in it, which is maybe one of my favorite performances from him. He's my favorite actor. So
in the words of Steve Rogers, I'll put it on the list.
I love that. Look, what am I most proud of? That I've been able to make it through the last year without year and 2 months, 3 months, without too many like weird things happening. The Star Wars match in particular from last night. Like, how do you say no to? How can I not say that? Between that and the Merle and Collins match for the belt, like, I'd be honest, man, it is so weird to me that I'm writing for these guys still. Like, I'm writing matches for people that I look up to, and I texted Bibbs last night. Like, I don't know how many times I can say to the competitors, like, not only are you guys my friends, but it's still always such an honor to just write for you guys. Because I want you guys to have fun. And I love the one thing more than anything, especially this season, is the change I've been able to make. Like, last year I started adding what I was hoping was a little bit more diversity into it, trying to get more walks of life as far as I was concerned, getting more black actors and actresses up on the wheel, things like that. And then
you guys, by the way, I've just been absolutely crushing it with the black cinema questions.
Thank you, man.
That's been such a welcome addition to the Schmoedown, and to see it pop up. And it makes you, like, I think a lot of us like challenge ourselves into, I mean, a lot of the things you do are doing this, and why we appreciate your work so much is it's challenging us to really appreciate film even more and expand past our comfort zones.
Yes.
Which, like, you know, I felt two ways when I got that Inner Geekdom list of films. There's a lot that I was excited about, and a lot that I was like, okay, I have some studying to do, but you know what? They're new experiences, and it's really easy to fall into the same crevice of, having your 4th MCU marathon, so I really love that there's all these new categories. And I gotta catch up on the chat really quick because somebody stole my answer. So David McKay put here and said, who is the best American president in an IG movie? And very quickly, Peggy Gubbins took it from me.
I mean, it's not a bad answer though. Like I look, I mean, that's one of the things I was going to say is like part of what I like is it kind of, words. It's very early still for me. It's kind of like being a film historian and teaching a film class. That's what I love about using the Schmoedown is I get to do what you're talking about. I get to introduce you guys and broaden people's horizons. And one of the things with IG in particular this season that I wanted to do, and of course you got the brunt of it, was I wanted people to realize that there was more than cape stuff out in geekdom. Like, people don't understand that geek is such a broad thing, and we had only been focusing on like Star Wars, Star Trek, and DC and Marvel. Like, there was other stuff thrown in there, but there's a reason stuff like Comic-Con is gotten into pop culture so heavily is that there's so much more than just cape stuff happening. Like, there's so much to what geek is. Like, I could honestly make the argument that we should probably have the Evil Dead movies in IG. In the same way that something like Highlander should probably be in IG, or the Mummy films, like with Brendan Fraser.
Something that I've talked about, a lot of people have talked on the page, and this is like, obviously you guys have added so much, so I'm not asking for more content right now, but everyone's like, I think a video game slice belongs in Inner Geekdom, and I was like, it sure does. I mean, they're 90% garbage movies, but video game gamers are geeks. No, most gamers go and see these movies.
And G.I. Joe, I think, has come up in the past. Like, G.I. Joe should absolutely be an IG. Like, I kind of love that I get the opportunity to, and I know that there's fans who don't like it. I've seen the comments, people saying that I diluted IG in doing this and that, like, we ruined why it was special. And I was like, no, I think we've made it more special. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like, I wanted other people's fandoms to feel seen.
This is the compromise I hope to see coming, right? So we have all these new categories, which is awesome. I mean, I was always really strong in the watch-alongs with the older matches. Like you said, they were Lord of the Rings focused, Star Wars, Star Trek, things like that. Always did really great with it. This has made it a lot harder to follow along, but also a lot more interesting. I think that you have all these amazing categories, and when you get categories like Star Wars, something that's so big and so many wells that you can go into for questions, maybe a new division, I think down the road somewhere we should have like a Marvel division.
Right.
Just because we had twice as many films as Star Wars, maybe not as long running, but you can have fresh questions in Marvel for a while.
Totally. And not just that, like the shows, right? And we're going to have to think about that probably in the future. Hey, you in the corner. Sorry.
If you're doing that for Star Wars, where people are like, maybe we'll have Mandalorian down the road. Right. That means that you're also probably going to get Marvel Disney Plus shows down the road. So I think I don't want to have 30 divisions that dilutes the whole entire league, but I think Marvel's a unique circumstance, and again that opens up what you can do for IG. Yep. So now you're like, okay, we can push a lot of the Marvel questions out and like unload that and focus on your Alien versus Predator, your Independence Days, and stuff like that.
Well, and the funny thing, too, is, like, with the MCU, I would argue, too, it's one of the biggest pop culture moments of all time. It rivals Star Wars in what it managed to do over 11 years. I mean, and still counting. But, like, look at what we went through.
We got to cycle back to the president question real quick.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Spaceballs, because it's like a Star Wars spoof, should, even though there's, like, a Mel Brooks category and, like, singles and stuff, I think that should slide in there. But
I'll be honest,
we don't want 1,000 movies yet.
I would love to do like in the Star Wars division, and I don't know if we'll ever get to do it. And this is like a Hail Mary Christian if you're watching this. I don't know what you think, but putting Star Wars spoof movies like as a slice and like doing things like Spaceballs in Star Wars, where it could be like a little bit of a curveball, like a little different, because there's quite a few movies that spoof on Star Wars and like do stuff like that, homages to Star Wars. There's something to be said about that.
I think that's great. Let's see. I'll cycle back to pop the questions back up here. All right. So, I mean, we kind of again hinted at this a little bit, but all the divisions have really been ramped up in difficulty. Are there any particular wheel slices you are most excited for? I feel like it's something in IG, but there's a lot of great new single stuff too. So,
there's a ton I was super excited about this season. Obviously, like I said, IG was like my pet project. That was something people also don't realize is that we were trying to do that last season before COVID happened. Like these conversations had happened with the competitors for IG, like starting in December when it looked like I was taking over and like it was becoming official. Like we had all had the conversations. So everyone who thinks that competitors got blindsided, they really didn't. We had been talking about it for over a year. It just
rookies
COVID did. Rookies, yeah. But within the confines of the game, and
right,
it was one of those things. But things that I was excited about, martial arts movies was number one for me. I'm a big Asian cinema guy, and so to finally be able to like sit down and start writing questions about some of the great stuff that came out of Hong Kong, especially in the 80s and 90s, and still obviously to this day, but like the 90s had a heyday of martial arts movies, man.
Can I ask you a question? Because I'm not in singles and I don't know exactly what qualifies for it.
Yeah.
Are things like Ip Man or Ong Bak in there, or is it kind of...
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Because
good stuff.
So, I was very specific in the wording because I was one of the people who helped with the rule book, and we had a guideline thing, and we had put it together for everyone last season. That was essentially how we were going to go about asking questions about movies, and it was literally anything theatrically released in the States. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how small of the release it is. Like, Ip Man had 4 films plus a spinoff. All of them were released theatrically here, even in limited runs. Like, we can't pretend they didn't happen. Like, world cinema matters,
I was helping Bibiani do a little bit of study, and I was looking up some Stephen King movies and stuff. And I saw that like one of the Children of the Corn, because I kept looking because I know there's a lot of straight to DVD stuff.
Yep.
I was trying to see what counted and what didn't for the questions, and I looked up one of the Children of the Corn. It said it was like in theaters for like 2 weeks and made like $500,000. So I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would count or not.
I try not to do like insane stuff like that, but like at the same time, something like Ip Man is a culturally defining thing for
He's
Hong
why
Kong.
People know the name Donnie Yen. He's probably a large part of why Donnie Yen made it into Rogue One.
Right, and like Donnie Yen had been around for such a long time. Like again, going back to what we were talking about with IG, people don't remember Donnie Yen is in Blade 2. Donnie Yen was in Highlander Endgame.
He's part of the Blood Pack.
Right. Like, Donnie Yen has been around for a long time. He was in Shanghai Nights with Jackie Chan. Like, we've always
that part I forgot because I forgot about that movie because it was like a one and done for me. Shanghai Noon I've watched like 30 times.
I've come around a lot on Nights. I think I've actually also come around that I like both of those better than the Rush Hour trilogy combined, which was over the summer when I rewatched all of those. I love the first 2 Rush Hour movies, but they have aged poorly. They are highly, highly racist in a way that I had forgotten. And that, product of its time and stuff. I'm never going to be like, cancel the movie. We aren't watching it. But like,
the main thing I remember from Rush Hour is just wipe yourself off. You did.
Yeah, wipe yourself off. You did. Chris Tucker, man.
There we go.
Yeah, see, exactly. And that's kind of my thing is, like I've been saying, like, there's something about it, in this position, I get to be like a film historian or a film teacher for people, and I'm trying to push people to watch stuff. Black cinema was a big one, and I'll be honest, like, there was a part of me that was a little worried about putting black cinema as like its own slice until I talked to Janine, until I talked to Winston, and I had a conversation with a lot of the people who really wanted it, and I came to realize why it was so important. And so that was why I kind of made that move to also martial arts movies, Jackie Chan movies, Akira Kurosawa. Like, let's broaden it out and put some names out there that need to be represented.
Yeah, absolutely. And how cool is it to see, if my memory serves, I believe Paul Oyama got perfect in the black cinema.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Great.
It was awesome, man.
Yeah, I love to see that.
It's a slice that I'm hoping is here for a very long time for a lot of reasons. Like, and the truth is, I grew up watching a lot of black cinema because, I mean, in the early 2000s, especially like as Eminem had come up and we started to see the bleed of like people actually listening to his music and realizing that there was a culture on that side of everything. And it did open a door for me to start searching into other things, and you'd fall down these rabbit holes with Ice Cube and Tupac for me, who were also actors. And so you'd start to jump around and you'd realize how different it was. And like these were different stories that weren't being told anywhere else. And like Ice Cube is a part of two really popular trilogies that get overlooked by a lot of people. One of them's Friday and one of them's Barbershop. But there's a reason that those movies franchises continue to this day, and they're still talking about doing another Friday because people care about those characters. They care about the stories being told.
And it's because you're the man with all the answers. Definitely all the questions, but all the answers.
At least we
did Black Dynamite get released in theaters?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so that's on there.
Yeah, and I think I probably shouldn't say. I realize it's something that it might come up in the future.
Okay, well, I do a little digging. I can. Black Dynamite's one of the hardest times I've laughed watching a movie.
Dude, so that movie is so good.
It's so underrated. I don't know. I think I've come across like one person in my little circle that has seen that movie.
I love that movie.
Thank you for expanding this out here. And there's going to be a lot of times when people are going to be watching the Schmoedown and be like, I don't know what that movie is, but somebody else was excited about knowing the answer to that question. So
I'll say this, and I don't think he'll get mad if I say this. So last season, before we had started it, one of the things I had started doing was I had become very conscious how white the show was. I really had. And so throughout the season, as we were going on, I was starting to be like, let's move in directions where I was trying to make sure round one always had a woman as an answer in some capacity, but I was always trying to get some form of black cinema in, even though we didn't have the slice yet. So whether it was a comedy or something like that. And Winston would start texting me because he was seeing it, and he was like, thank you. Because he was like, I noticeably see what you're doing. And he was like, I'm starting to feel like people see it. And like,
I gives me goosebumps a little bit.
Yeah. Like it was a thing where I was like, this is what we need more of. And so I've really made it a continued in the back of my head, just keep doing that, because I want people to feel like they're a part of this. We don't want to push people out, And that's what I mean. Like the world is a grand stage of film, and there's people from all walks of life. It doesn't matter where we're all coming from. We should all be celebrating film. Like we can't pretend that just because stuff wasn't released here in like a huge hit that we have to pretend it wasn't. Like Jackie Chan made how many Police Story movies? That's what I mean, man. Like those movies are highly, highly rated by a lot of people for a reason. I think he's made 6 of those altogether.
We do have.
Wow. Sorry. So yeah, that's very important.
I don't know. But again, that's something that obviously I have to focus on IG right now. But I've been watching the singles matches. I've been watching the Star Wars matches. Obviously, I've seen all the Star Wars movies, so it's not like, oh, I haven't heard of that one. I got to go revisit it. So I'm revisiting them as need be. But a lot of the stuff in singles I haven't, and I would be excited to. I think this is a great question. If you were going to compete, what division would you compete in?
To be honest,
one day you have to hang your hat. A new writer has to come in. You have to retire from the Schmoedown as a writer. Where do you go?
I am desperately hoping that we do a horror division down the line. I've made it no secret that horror is like my ultimate jam. Like all of my wardrobe is basically just horror tees and stuff.
So you get Nemiroff, you get Fouch, you get Bibiani, you get Collins, the bloodbath, pun intended.
Yeah, Tim Franco, get Tim Franco back in there, like get him off of the retirement rack, bring him back. Like I want nothing more than to go toe to toe with Tim Franco and Bibiani and all of those guys in a horror match.
There's so much fun you could have with graphics and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude.
A Bruce Campbell slice. And
I want a Bruce Campbell slice just in singles, period. I'll tell you that. Like I've thought about it for so long because
I think you and me are like diehard Campbellites.
Oh yeah. Well, I was rewatching just the other night before Justice League dropped.
I just realized, are you related to Mr. Bruce Campbell?
No, but we share the same last name, and he has been very, very cool. Like, I've met him in the past, and one of the things we joked and kind of bonded over was the last name thing, which was really, really cool.
And then you got David Campbell over in Scotland, so it's like, dude, you just got friends in high places.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, the David Campbell one is interesting to me because my family lineage all trace back to Scotland. So I wonder if there is anything in our past that would have us connected in some form. So I've wondered that out loud, but I want a Bruce Campbell slice so bad, dude. I was rewatching Briscoe County Jr. the other day, and you look at his filmography. He's been in so much stuff. He's not the big part of it, but if Ed Harris can have a slice, he's a character actor. Why not give Groovy Bruce a chance? I think we had him at the desk.
Whatever age you are, when you realize how much Bruce Campbell's been in things, and you realize how much he's been in your life without knowing it, once I started getting into Ash versus Evil Dead and stuff and retroactively look back, I was like, Bruce Campbell's been in Sky High, all those Spider-Mans and stuff. I've been seeing him everywhere without it registering. It's that guy.
Yeah. And Raimi, we all know, I think you even messaged me. You were over under he's in Doctor Strange. I was like, he's 100% in it.
100%, yeah.
And that's what I love. Raimi and him came up together. They were friends. They made Evil Dead together. And that's true friendship in Hollywood, that they keep working together in even putting him in a small role in anything is so awesome. But I was just the moment Sam Raimi signed on for Doctor Strange, I was like, Bruce Campbell's in the MCU. That was my first thought.
We've speculated on how he might show up, so I'm excited about that.
Multiverse Snooty Usher returns from Spider-Man 2. You heard it here first.
So I want to ask you, you've brought up some people that you'd be really excited to see compete in a horror division, but just overall, hard question: who are some of your favorite competitors? And I mean, there's got to be some influence on last night for Star Wars. But
I mean, look, the Star Wars players are the best of the best. It doesn't matter who you are. Every one of them is a favorite for a reason because they walk into that ring.
Do you have to remember different number and letter code combinations all over the place? And yeah, I mean, I can answer off the top of my head. I think one of the best, not best, but a good piece of IG trivia. I don't know, maybe if it comes up, I'm going to kick myself in the ass. But in Captain America: Civil War, do you know the what would you call that?
Is it the words that they say that trigger the Winter Soldier?
No, it's what's on Bucky's cell block that he's
D23.
Yeah,
I do know that.
Holy shit! All right, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you.
Oh man, that's one of my favorite little Easter eggs in the movie.
Mine too. I was watching the movie, and when I saw that, I went, Disney, you sons of bitches.
It's so good. I love that so much. And Alan Smithy asked, "Is Darkman IG?" Yes, right. It is.
Thanks for the reminder, Alan.
Yeah, because I think we added that last season. That was one that was I did a small expansion last season, but it was more just filling out movies that were very superhero like. And this season was when I was like, and taking the hatchet to IG. Let's go.
Yeah, it was a rough journey for me because, like I said, I've been following for so long, doing so well, and then be like, well, now I'm very confident in half of IG, and I got some study to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of us are on the same playing field, so that's all right. So yeah, we got great Star Wars competitors. I mean, obviously, Rachel Cushing probably, and IG, a monster. We got Mara now. The women have come to play. Laura Kelly in Star Wars. I mean, phenomenal.
I am so glad that we're finally starting to see so many of the women dominating the league in the different divisions because
they're not just making appearances. They're killing it.
And for so long, I felt like they were written off because, unfortunately, in this space, it's still rather toxic towards women. And so there's something about them, being taken seriously. I was happy to see that not a lot of people went after Mara and said she didn't earn the win. And the ones who said that she didn't are wrong. It just straight up, you're wrong. You guys don't understand what it takes. And for her to come back, she walked away came back after 2 years. and to go toe to toe with Chandru, who to that point we had basically only see Chandru play pretty much perfect.
There were different. It's different divisions too. It's almost like going into IG division for the first time.
Yeah, because
if you would have gone with like the OG IG mindset, you wouldn't have been able to hang in that match. She had to adapt, and that takes work. Coming from like the little bit of experience that I have, that takes work to adapt to this new division.
No, 100%, man. Like, look at it. It's crazy. And then you look at Dan Murrell, you look at Jeff Snyder, you look at Bibiani, you look at Oyama. Like, these guys come to play. They know what they're doing. Like, they're some of the greats. Roka is one of my favorite people in the entire world. Just not just as a person, but as a competitor too. Like, the dude's got a fire that a lot of people don't see. Like, the Barbarian, look at that guy. Like, he's come to play quite a few times, and he shows up. Chance, same thing. Like, the competitors who time and again come back to the ring after a loss and come back that much better and that much stronger are incredible. And it's why, like, one day I hope to God to see Rachel Cushing come back. I don't know if she ever will, but I would love to see
an exhibition or something. I just gotta see her on stage or something. Do it for like a spectacular special match or something.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
or I would love to see just like we had the Black Cinema match, which was awesome, but I would love to see a ladies exhibition match.
Yes,
for absolutely. Like for ID or like Star Wars, or what would be really fun is just do a division wide thing. Get like the best female competitors from every division and just like have like round one be like 50-50, or I guess like 25-25-25, whatever, on like questions, and just be like, who's the overall film nut out of all the ladies?
Do like a 4 or 5-way Iron Man match or something.
Oh my gosh, that would be an Iron Woman.
Yeah, match? Iron Woman match. Yeah, an Iron Woman match. Like that.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I'm
all for these exhibitions. I have like 50 ideas for like what would be great exhibition matches, and I hope to see. I love what's happening with IG, but I hope it's more than just the general matches in the tournaments.
Dude, I'll tell you, like, I've thought about other exhibitions I'd love to do down the line too. Like, I have all sorts of ideas. There's all sorts of stuff we could do with that, which I think is so cool. Like, I mean, even to the point, like, one thing with horror is that a lot of horror film franchises eventually become like direct-to-video franchises.
Right.
But I would love
Child's Play,
which is such a funny example because those movies actually got better as they went. Especially these like, last two were really good, but I mean, I think a lot of it is that it's been the same creative team all the way through. But like Tremors, like I know Kevin Smets is a huge Tremors fan. I would love to do like a Tremors exhibition.
Oh, whoops. They're actively campaigning for IG teams at all. I would love to see this one day. Obviously, not in a hurry with the way things are, but I think every division deserves teams.
I agree. Maybe not Star Wars, but these ones.
You're not ready for that. You bring up Tremors. I had initially the Attack Pack, which was the first 4 movies, and then the like 5, 6, and now. So I got to be honest, I haven't seen 7, but I watched 5 and 6 on like Netflix. I saw on TikTok a certain favorite character of mine dies in 7, and I refuse to watch it. That's how attached I am to this like B grade, like awful sci-fi horror franchise.
I was not prepared for it, to be honest. And so I remember I got it, like I was super excited because I love Tremors. Tremors is one of my favorite movies ever. It actually, and funny enough, it opened the day I was born. January 19th, 1990 is the day that the original came out. So it's like,
do you know how many Tremors references I'm going to throw your way now? If I lose my next match, I'm going to send you a message saying I feel I was denied critical need to know information.
I love that so much, man. Oh, that makes me so happy. But I'll be honest, I wasn't ready for the ending. The ending hit different. And that's pretty incredible for the B grade monster franchise that no one
been straight to TV since like 3 or 4.
Since 2.
Was
2 was even direct to video. Like it had.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought 2 was in theaters. Not really.
So it was so good though when they shot it. It was done by Universal's Home Entertainment at the time. It sat on a shelf for a year because they tried to figure out if they should take it theatrical or not. That's because it was so good and it tested so well.
Eventually, I want to see Ass Blasters in IMAX, and that's not what you think it is.
No, I would 100% want to. Like, I also have an idea now. I don't know. Like, I so desperately want to make a new one. And I don't want to do like a reboot. I want to do a sequel, and I want to do it with Kevin Bacon. And I want to kind.
Well, they tried to have that sci-fi show, right, for a little bit with Kevin Bacon.
I'm kind of glad it didn't happen because
what you guys didn't know is this is evolving into Tremors talk, and I'm here for
it. So my whole idea essentially comes down to there's a little bit of the thing in that I liked was that his character is kind of broken, and like his legacy has basically become hinged on that. But I want him to have a daughter, and I want it to be Maya Hawke. And because I think she's super talented, and I think she's great. But essentially, I want it to be that the Tremors have, like, as the series goes, and they kind of deal with it in the last one. You haven't seen it, but there's genetically modified versions that have been created by governments.
Of course there is.
I basically want it to be that a giant version of it that's basically like a Godzilla-esque version of a graboid ends up in New York, and he has to go to New York with his daughter to fight a Tremor in New York.
Yes, I mean, let's do it.
And I so badly like I want it to have Ghostbusters vibes where the mayor's like, no, we downplay it, and so
get that Kickstarter going,
dude. The Thanksgiving Day parade has a graboid attack.
Yes.
that is the selling point of it. Is I want the Thanksgiving Day parade to get thrown into chaos because a graboid attacks in the middle.
Now you have me thinking of a Thanksgiving Day parade with a graboid float or a graboid balloon. What a lot of people probably don't know, if you haven't watched Tremors, a reason to watch at least 1 and 3, I believe, is that Ariana Richards, who plays Lex Murphy in the Jurassic Park movies, I think she's in the beginning of the second one as well, is in the Tremors films. So,
and she's real good at them.
It's Michael Gross's, like, it's his franchise.
I mean, the fact that it became his franchise after the first is really remarkable, and he stuck with it for 30 years.
We got Reba McEntire, guys. Come on now.
One of my favorite. Can I just say one of my favorite moments ever was was that question about Tremors that came up as a 5-pointer last season in the Odd Couple match about Reba McEntire.
I missed it.
So that's the question that the Odd Couple won on in one of their matches was, what singer played Burt Gummer's wife in Tremors? And Draco goes, I know this. Reba McEntire. Like, I was so excited. I was like, yes.
My God, if I would have got a Tremors question in any capacity, again, I think we should have a monster movie slice just so we can get Tremors. Like, Godzilla be damned, I want Tremors. And I would cry at a Tremors question, probably. All right, well,
real quick though, I don't know if you know this. Tremors is now on 4K, courtesy of Arrow. They released the first one on 4K, and it's a beautiful set. If you get the chance, you should pick it up.
Is that 7? Or is that just
the first one? It's a 4K release of the first.
Okay, I thought it was like all 7 of them.
No, this is a 4K release. Like, they went back to the negative and did an entire 4K scan of the original film.
Oh my gosh,
it's a remarkable set.
The practical work that they did in the first movie is just like,
dude,
pioneering in practical effects.
I've said
all la Goro in Mortal Kombat.
I've said it before. It's land jaws. And I love that. Like, it is 100% land jaws in the right ways.
Our hot take, I would rather watch Tremors than Jaws. That's just where I am at my life.
That is the correct take to have.
Fantastic. I have a question I definitely want you to answer here. And I am a human, so I am going to have to run to the restroom here.
You're good, man.
I think that I have faith that you can take this. What is your quick sell to people that don't know anything about the Schmoedown? So kind of like, Bibiani's approach, just shrunk down and try to take longer than like 40 seconds.
I got you. My big sell for the Schmoedown when it comes to people who don't know is it's a little bit of what you like about Jeopardy through the lens of wrestling. And that's what I've always liked about it, is that you get these really great matches of trivia, but you get really fun character work out of it too. And I think that that's really special because Jeopardy is fun. We like watching people who know answers. We like seeing people answer stuff that we don't know. But it's even better when you have a framework and a story and these character beats and moments that makes it really special. And that, I think, makes it also very human. And I think that also leads to such great real moments within the game itself. That's why you get the Demalantas who have these reactions in real time, because the story of how he got there is so compelling. And I can't not love that. Like, that's why we love this game. So my big sell is, if you love watching trivia, or if you love trivia, then you need to watch this. Not only for the trivia, though, because you want to invest in the characters. You want to invest in the people who are spending their time building this out. And I think that that really makes it fun, and it makes it different. There's nothing like the Schmoedown that exists anywhere else. And that's just that. Hey, welcome back, man.
Hey. Was that it? Was that right on time?
Yeah, it was like right on time.
Oh, fantastic. I just popped in. Yeah, I mean, I echo everything that you said that I heard the entire thing for.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really
but I mean, I did hear that there is nothing like the Schmoedown, and I think that is 100% accurate. And I do have a pretty small circle of friends, but I have one of my most random friends. I don't know if he's going to be watching this video, but like somebody that I played video games with and stuff. He's not as into inner geekdom stuff, style movies as I am. Doesn't read into all the articles and stuff like that. Not somebody that I've considered to be an avid movie fan.
Right.
But I started doing the Schmoedown stuff, and he's now texting me after every match that gets released on the Schmoedown YouTube channel, talking to me about questions, calls, and all this other stuff. I was like, great. Like, I wish I had the power to do more of that.
Dude.
And I'm slowly starting to get more subscribers on this channel, which, by the way, last time I checked, 20 away from 100. Let's get to our first 100. That's a big landmark. But part of that is now, I mean, yeah.
Did you see Eric's comment in the chat? Hey, welcome, Jesse, to the PJ show. Just I love Eric, man. That we don't deserve Eric.
No, he's been, with as busy as that guy is, he has been so welcoming, engaging, and like when I did my promo for my first match, it was one of the cringiest things I've ever done in my life, and he just proceeded to praise it and love on it, and I was like, just thank you. And I do want to get to some of Peggy's questions here, but I just want to say that a lot of this channel has been about just doing movie news and reviews and stuff, and that's great. That's fun for me to do. But now that I'm part of the Schmoedown, I want to incorporate that more on here as well. And a big part of that is just getting it out there more, getting it in front of some new faces. I know a lot of my recent subscribers are from the Schmoedown community, so if you guys can share it out there, if you want more people to understand, follow, and enjoy the Schmoedown like we do, share this video. Share the video with Bibs. If you don't feel like sharing the rest of the stuff, that's fine, but get those out there.
No, seriously, man. Like, look, we're still a fledgling thing for being 8 seasons. Like, I long for a day where we end up being talked about in the same vein as something like Jeopardy. Like, that's what I was kind of saying while you were gone. It was like the beauty of things like Jeopardy. Jeopardy's been around for a long time. People love trivia. But the thing that you don't get in Jeopardy that you get with us is you get character, you get story. Like, you don't get the human moments in the same way, because like the Damalanta things don't happen on Jeopardy in the way that they do in the Schmoedown. Like, his path to get to where last night was beautiful. And like, that's what I love about this show. Like, it's Jeopardy mixed with wrestling. What's not to like about that? But it's human.
Yeah. And the promos have been just a highlight. And I'm so glad that we're really leaning into them again this year. Yeah. And the cutscenes and stuff has been fantastic. Oh, here we go. I want to share Peggy's question here, because she has once again a good one. PJ, when a match gets rolling, are you more so hoping for the competitors to go perfect, or are you secretly thinking, "Ha, got you on that one" when a question is missed? I would imagine it's a bit of both, but I'll let you take it.
It's a little bit of both. There's times that, like, I tailor every match in a way that I try to play to who I know is going to be playing. Like, I try to have fun with it, but I also, there's landmines sometimes. Sometimes you think you're going to get them, sometimes you don't. Like, I'll be honest, I was a little shocked that Bibbs missed the movie release dates question yesterday. But at the same time, it was kind of an interesting gotcha, not to, like, dig at it, but, like, those are kind of fun for me, because one of my favorite things is taking 4 very random movies and being like, what year did these all come out? I'm hoping one of them is a trigger for you where you remember, but, you know, there's a lot of context in that, and it's kind of fun to be like, these 4 sci-fi films came out in the same year. What is that movie? Or look at the Dan Merle and Jeff Snyder match. That first question out the gate with the Little Women question, I knew exactly what I was doing.
Ironically, because my fiance is pretty new to the Schmoedown. When we met, I introduced her to a couple things when I was laid up after I had my meniscus all jacked up and I couldn't really go anywhere. I was like, I knew we both loved movies. We met at a movie theater.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I showed her the Schmoedown, but she didn't really get into it until I got involved. And so now she's playing along with these matches and stuff and screaming along with them. And she's actually, I got to be honest, I have to convince her to try to compete next year, to try to audition, because she's crushing like a lot of the singles matches, even though like me, she's more IG focused. Right. But like a lot of times we're playing along and she's beat me to the punch on a lot of stuff and I'm feeling bad about it. I gotta be honest.
That's amazing though, and we need more strong female competitors. So
and I think she thought she was kind of joking around with it, but we'll see how it goes because I keep egging her on. I was like, you can do this. But you talked about that match with Dan Merle and Jeff Schneider. Little Woman's like one of our favorite movies of all time. So she was just like,
that might be one of my favorite moments, and it was so funny because like a behind the scenes thing is like that was a question that was kind of a late in the game addition. Like I tend to tinker with the matches up until we start shooting, and Christian and I were talking, and I had switched the question up a little bit, and like I've actively tried to make sure that like I don't want people being blown out in round one, but I try to put a couple of landmines here and there, but I also try to make everything playable. And so it's kind of fun, man.
If there's going to be a bonus question, you want it to feel earned, not like it's just their 9th question.
Yeah, and so like one of the fun things for me in that was like Christian and I were talking about that question in particular, and I was like, I could make it easier or we could leave it. And like I was sitting there thinking, and he goes, there's 2 people who are nominated. Like let's keep it the coin flip. It'll be fun. And what a great moment it made.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's the first time 2 competitors have repeated the same question out the gate like that. And it set the pace for the entire match.
I'm glad that they did that, though, because everyone shat on me for using a JTE on my first question.
No, dude. Look, I will never, ever, ever talk bad about that. There's a reason that exists. And look, it was your first match. Come on, man. Like
for me, it's like any other day of the week. You could have asked me about Carl Weathers and what happened with my brain because I haven't done this, right?
Right.
And I haven't had that speed like recollection, like I could bring it up in conversation, but it was just like, who played in the name escapes me, but it's Predator. And I was like, okay, I know that. And I started writing. It was one of those ones where I got it and I started writing. I read Carl. And then I'm just like, and I was like, no way. And it was like I was just like searching empty space for answers. Yep. And I really had to, it was a weird path. My brain went, okay, he's Grief Karga in Mandalorian. And then he directed, I believe it was the 4th or 5th episode of season 2. So then I was like, all right, let me tell my brain who directed that episode. And then my brain said it's Carl Weathers. I was like, great, now we can go back. Jesus.
And that's the thing, like people don't understand, and this needs to be brought up more. Like fans get weird with this kind of stuff, and this isn't a dig, but like you were under the lights for the first time in your first match ever.
I still got it.
You still got it. And like I like the way that you said that, because one of my favorite things is hearing how people get from the thing we're asking to the answer. Like
my web of interconnectivity for like finding answers is a weird place.
But that's all of us, right? Because I even have the same thing. Like when I run the questions, I have fun with it in the same way where how could I get here from X thing? Like you never know, but I love doing it, man. It's just so much fun. And I just want to make the game fun. That's what I care about more than anything. I want the game to be fun. And I've said that over and over and over again. And it'll never not be true. I want you guys to have the best time playing. Don't get me wrong. I like when matches get serious, but I want you guys to feel like you had a good time too. Like when Bibiani texts me, even if he loses a match and he goes, the questions were so much fun. Like that's what I'm aiming for.
I love that so much. Like if there's any personality to fall for, it's Bibiani.
Yeah. Like I can't tell you, man, how nice it is.
I wanted to repost the link on Twitter because we're getting into the back half, or not back half, but like back little portion of this video because I wanted to do something special while we have you here. You spend so much time writing questions. Oh, yeah. Anybody that's in here, hopefully we have a little treat for you if you stuck around. But PJ spent so much time writing questions. I don't think he has a lot of chance to answer questions. So I did a little cross-divisional question roundup for PJ here. So we're going to ask him 4 singles questions, 4 IG questions, and then 4 Star Wars questions. I'm not a dick about it. I wasn't super mean. I'm not trying to make you look bad, but I think with as much as you know about movies, it'll be fun. So you go into the private chat. Keep your eyes off the chat in case anyone wants to play along in here.
Oh yeah, that's probably fair, huh?
I'll open it up to the chat. If you guys want to play along, you are more than welcome to. All right. I will, however, I'll let you pick which division you want first.
Let's get Star Wars out of the way because that one feels like it's going to hurt the most.
Awesome.
It feels like it's going to get hurt the most.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
I don't think these are going to be too bad. All right. Question number 1 for PJ in the world of Star Wars. In The Force Awakens, what actor portrayed Lor Santeca, who originally handed the map of Luke Skywalker over to Poe?
Oh, Max von Sydow.
Yes. I told you I wouldn't make it too hard.
I love that.
These aren't Star Wars division questions per se.
That's fair.
All right. Question 2. In Rogue One, what is on the necklace given to Jyn Erso by her mother?
A kyber crystal.
That is correct. There you go, PJ.
Yeah.
Stressing out for nothing. All right.
Well, you know.
What was the name of... Okay, this is probably the easiest one on here. What was the name of Princess Leia's home planet, which was decimated by the Death Star?
Alderaan.
Yep.
They were in all the wrong places when that thing blew up.
Oh my God. I was waiting for it. How could we be an hour and 6 minutes in and that's the first pun? Disgraceful. I have to have you back on just to redeem our lack of puns on this show. All right. And question 4. Who composed the score for Rogue One?
Michael Giacchino.
There you go. Not so bad, right?
No, and the crazy thing about that, I don't know if you know this. I mean, you might because you're like me. You read all that stuff. You know, he wrote that score in like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
He did much better with a short period of time than David Ayer did with his short period of time with Suicide Squad. Similar situations, better results.
Yeah.
All right. What you got IG and you got singles.
Let's do IG.
You want to do IG? All right.
Yeah.
So you're saving slightly harder one for last.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 1. Oop, going out of focus here. In IG, Inner Geekdom. Boom, right here. How many times has Billy D. Williams portrayed Harvey Dent or Two-Face?
Twice. Once in Batman and once in Lego Batman.
Making me so proud. This is why he's the writer of the questions for the Schmoedown, everybody.
I love that question.
All right. In The Amazing Spider-Man 2, sorry, this is question 2. In The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Aunt May tells Peter that he turned the laundry red and blue. What does he say he was washing?
Oh, the American flag.
That's correct. The American
Nobody
flag.
Watches the American flag.
That's right. You don't wash the flag. All right. Question 3. Great job so far. We are perfect going into our 7th question. What is the name? I also want to go, what is your favorite color? What is the name of the large orangutan who quickly forms a bond with Caesar in Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
Oh, fuck.
Finally.
Yep. No. And I love this movie too. Oh, God damn it.
Gonna give you the...
I'm gonna say it's Bad Ape, and I know that's wrong because that's the one in War.
No, that is... I just watched this too. That is... Zach... Wait.
That was... Shit. Yeah, see?
Zach... No, wait. Zach? Wait. Isn't his name Zach something? He was in Sahara.
Yes, and he's in...
My brain wants to say Zach Penn, but that's not right.
No, that's not right. That's a writer. Zach Penn's the dude who was one of the credited writers on the Avengers.
My brain is really upset with me. That's another one that, like, any given day you could have asked me that actor and I would have had it.
Well, I can see him. Why can I not remember his name? Holy shit, I have to look. This is bad.
Wow, we're gonna punch ourselves.
Steve Zahn.
It was a Z. The last name was a Z.
Steve Zahn.
Steve Zahn. Yeah, it's Bad Ape. Who's a highlight? They needed him in that movie because that movie's depressing.
He's so good in that movie, dude. Oh my God.
But the name that you are looking for is, drumroll, Maurice.
Maurice. Ah, yes.
All right, so we're 6 for 7, moving into the final question of Inner Geekdom. In Fellowship of the Ring, Gandalf warns Bilbo to not take him for some conjurer of what?
Shit, we've asked this, I feel like. Conjurer of party tricks?
Very close. The correct answer is cheap tricks.
Cheap tricks. That's a good question. That's such a good question. That's not. That was good though. I like that.
So we are out of 8, 6 for 8, which is not bad at all.
No, not bad at all.
Into singles. This could be all over the place. Who knows? Who knows, right? Usually I write the answers by this one. I didn't for this one, so I'm going to do that. Oops. All right. Well, whatever. There it is. Okay. Here, your first question in singles. In the genre of comedy.
Ha ha ha, Mark.
That's right. In spirit. In the film Liar, Liar, who plays Audrey's boyfriend, Jerry?
Oh, fuck. Oh, I can see him. I haven't seen this movie in so long.
You can have JT if you want.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it.
4, 3.
JT, why not? We'll go with JT.
In the film Liar, Liar, who plays Audrey's boyfriend, Jerry?
I can see him.
Five, 4, 3, 2,
nope.
1. You're looking for Wesley, the Dread Pirate Roberts, Carrie Ellis.
That's right. That's right. For whatever reason, my mind was going to. I couldn't separate it from Night at the Museum, and I was seeing Paul Rudd as the boyfriend in that. And I was like, that's not it. Like, go the other direction.
The tricks that our brains play on us in like when you're under like the pressure is not fair.
No, I know.
I definitely got mad at myself several times in that match where I was like, just if you could have, it. All right. So you are 6 for 9.
6 for 9 is not the worst though.
No. I figured these would be the harder ones. All right. This one's right up your alley for questions. Question 2. Donnie Darko, Tomb Raider, and Zoolander were released in what year?
2001.
That's correct.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're 7 for 10, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Picking it up. All right. In the 2014 film Nightcrawler, who plays news director Nina Romina?
Rene Russo.
That is also correct. Yes. There we go. All right.
Yes.
So let's see, this would be question number 12. 10 for 12, I think, is that right?
Yeah, 10 for 12.
All right, not bad at all. It'd be a solid, I'd say a solid round 1, but you don't usually get 12 questions. All right. Question number 4 in singles. How many comic book or graphic novel based films has Jon Favreau directed?
3. Iron Man, Iron Man 2, and Cowboys and Aliens.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a nice use of IG, but also singles question.
Thank you. Not ready to join the writers team quite yet. I
like that, man. That's
so question. Yeah, I think if I'm looking, let's see here. So there's Maurice, and so I think it was just.
It was just 3. Maurice and Casey Elways
and the party tricks.
And the party tricks. So 3, yeah, cheap tricks. So 9 for 12?
9 for 12, yeah, I think was the grand total.
That's not bad.
There you go, guys. For no practice, not getting to look at anything. There you go. We got to ask PJ some questions.
I desperately hope that one day one of the exhibitions gets to be a writer's exhibition between me and my team.
I want that so bad. I've brought that up before. I don't remember what after show I was on, but I said I'd kill for that.
Yeah, I want that so badly. And
that's the one time if given an opportunity, I know I'm a competitor, but I mean, if you have the writers competing, they should have the competitors writing, right?
I think that would be amazing because I think that the competitors could have some fun being like,
Oh, just be malicious.
I try to let you guys have fun, but go easy on me a little bit.
Well, I think if I was writing, like if I had an exhibition match that was just a mismatch of genres, those are some of the questions that I'd probably.
I love that. Well, it's funny too because like people don't like. I take a lot of my own self out of it, but there is a part of me that likes also giving love to stuff that I love, and I do that with the questions. So there's very specific times when you're writing for a movie that you really love, and you're like, I like that I get to write this. Like it just feels good. And it always makes me happy. So, you know, I think even with you getting to write those, like you put a little bit of yourself into it, and that's special.
Yeah. I did a little bit. And also I just tried to throw in some things because I've gotten a little bit of flavor for some of your taste and things. And I had to throw an Apes question in there because you did that to me, you dirty bastard.
I'm a damn dirty ape. What can I say?
Oh, there it is. All right.
There it is.
Well, PJ, thank you so much. It's pretty much all I have for you. I had a great time having you on the show. Hopefully, I mean, if we can, whether we need an excuse to or not, hopefully we can have you back on the show. We had some great interactions in the comments. Thank you again. I'm just going to double check because I haven't for a little bit.
Dude, I will come back anytime you want to hang out. It was such a pleasure. You've quickly become one of my favorite new additions, not just to the show, but to like our family and the community. Like, I just love hanging out with you. I love talking with you. Like, there's so many people who could be shitty about how things go, but you and I have had like the best interactions since the match, and just we have a rom-com bunch, Peggy.
Saying for the writers match.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I see. Okay. But no, really though, I really mean it when I say like you have quickly become one of my favorite people, and I am very lucky to consider you a friend on top of everything else. So thanks, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah. So I can expect for the next IG match, you're just going to send me the questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Fantastic. Great. Love to see it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the Flickin' Real Fancast. PJ, if you want some plugs, go for it.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at PJ_Campbell. You can also find me at the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. Hey, I'm the head writer. I write the questions over there. Be nice to the writers. We're only human. And you guys can find me over at the PJ Campbell Network, where we do watch-alongs and after shows and all sorts of stuff, which I believe right now, if you actually head over there, they're actually talking Falcon and Winter Soldier. It should be my buddy Maxwell, Eric, and a couple of others. So go check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I mean, you can find me right here as per usual on the Flickin' Real Fancast. Try to have at least one video a week. We got two. With everything that happened this week, we got two videos. Also, I'll plug this in here right here. You can follow me on Stereo at The Jackal. Maybe me and PJ can get on there sometime and shoot the shit, talk a little Tremors or Movie Trivia Schmoedown, something like that. And then follow me on Twitter at Jesse Swift and YouTube Flickin' Real. So, yeah, that's all for me.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much, guys. Until next time, keep it real. See you then.